All right, good day everyone, and welcome back to Mommy Guide Inc. Yes, after a very long break, I am back. And of course, since it's August, and just like what we've been doing for the past couple of years, every time it's April, August, and December, I do go live, right? So when it is August and April, this actually was inspired by what we call live every day in April and live every day in August. So I was part of that amazing challenge by LSP or live streaming pros, of course, headed by Loria Petrucci, and I did that, and from there I learned so many things. I didn't know how to do videos up to now. Actually, I still don't know a lot, but that's where I learned how to do live streams, and that's how I actually really intentionally finally started my crafty channel. And so in honor of that and in lieu of that, I started, this series of, instead of live every day in April and August, I named it, because we're crafters, craft every day in April and craft every day in August. So this year in April, I didn't go live the whole month of April because this year I am relaunching my review classes for college entrance exams here in the Philippines. And actually, today is the first day of the exam for UPCAT or UP, University of the Philippines, and tomorrow is the second day. So I officially wrapped up the review just this week, last Thursday. And so that's why finally I can go back into, doing my crafting at least Wednesdays and Saturday nights. But before I actually do that, I will craft every day in August. Yes, and of course, earlier in the chat, we had Linda. Linda is an amazing artist. And not just that, she's an amazing supporter of so many artists in our community here and abroad, right? So thank you so much, my dear friend Linda, for being here, for the many, many hearts and the continued support. Yes, Sammy said, we are so back. Yes, the return of CEDA. Hello, VJ Designs. Good morning to you, my friend. Hi, Linda and Sammy. Thank you so much, my dear VJ. Okay, I'm not sure if your name is V or VJ, but again, thank you so much for dropping by. So, the past couple of years, what I've been doing with my live every day in August, or a craft every day in August, I did a lot of crafty avenues. There are a lot of paper crafting in my channel, specifically card making, scrapbooking, DIYing or upscaling, recycled and recycling products from trash to treasures, things like that. And so I really love, going to many different crafts. And the way for me to be able to do and double into all of these things is when I do all these kinds of lives, right? Where I go live for 30 days, 31 days. So I am able to do a lot of things, right? So for this August 2025, I decided to revisit the basics. Lately, I have been meeting up with friends, and they have been, able to see some of my videos in the past. And then they said, for a lot of you, probably, maybe you're a student, you're still at work, right? For those who are not yet retired. So you really, in as much as you want to do a lot of these kinds of crafting that we do, maybe time is, you don't have the luxury of time. So I decide, and most of them, they are asking me, so what do I need? If I want to start, say, card making, Lala, what do I actually need to start with? And I've been, being asked these kinds of questions quite often lately. And so I decided, maybe it's time to actually just go back to the basics. So this whole month, except for the last month, okay, because the last month is where I will actually put all of these basics things that we're going to be talking about and putting in them into projects. But of course, every now and then you will still see videos, okay, uploaded videos of mine for Kendra's Card Challenge 19. As for those who don't know yet, I am a proud member of the design team for Kendra's Card Challenge 19. And so this August and September, you will see some videos of mine as we feature some of the sketches and, of course, our super sponsors for Kendra's Card Challenge 19. And also, for this month, I will be also very much, I actually saw the Happy Mail. It arrived just today. And I will be creating some projects for the mood board challenge for Not Too Shabby for this month, right? So if you missed joining last month, don't worry, because you can actually still join this month, and I will be creating some videos for that as well. Joining us also in the chat, hello, Anne-Marie. Yes, Anne-Marie is our dear friend from Norway, or Denmark. One of those. Anyway, she is from Europe and she's super awesome. No matter what time you go live, she may drop by and say hi, not just to me, but to a lot of the crafters in the community. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. Oh, it's Vicky. Vicky, is this now? Okay, I know Vicky had been wanting to, start her own journey. And Vicky, is this the channel? Oh my goodness, I'm so happy for you, Vicky. After this, I'm gonna go and check out your channel. And of course, I'm gonna subscribe. Guys, if you have not checked out Vicky yet, Vicky is an awesome crafter, but she has actually not created content for sharing just yet until now. Awesome! Oh, awesome. Congratulations, Vicky. I know I've seen you in Roy's channel. And that's how I actually started as well, my friend. I just, started going to some people's channel, asking them questions about tech, because I really didn't know where to start, what to do, right? So, again, Vicky, just message me if you want to. But then, of course, I'll check out your channel after this. But if you do want to have like a short Zoom with me, absolutely, I'm G for that. Yes, back to the basics. Hi, Shanna. Hello, my friend. This is my dear friend, Shanna. Shanna makes it on YouTube and all the, all the platforms or all the socials. If you want amazing inspiration daily, almost daily, even if she goes on vacation, she makes sure that she has, scheduled videos up for you, right? And she's also a design team member of so many amazing products and manufacturers. So definitely you will find amazing inspiration on Shanna's channel. Thank you, Shanna, for dropping by, my friend. Yes. Oh, there you go. Norway. Did I said Denmark. Okay, Norway. Woohoo! Just a fun fact, Anna-Reed. After I'm an industrial pharmacist. And after graduation from university, I was invited to work for a company in Norway. But I have to learn the language. And so I got scared and didn't push through with it. Right? But anyway, just a fun fact that a lot of you maybe do not know. Yes, Vicky's new channel. Thank you so much, Hami Pai. My dear friends, right? Let's support Vicky, right? So this is her channel. Please do check it out. And if you see and if you like what you're seeing, please do, hit that, notification bell and subscribe. Hi, Laurie. Oh, yes. Okay. But please, if you're driving, Laurie, please, eyes on the road. Thank you, my friend. And Jaden. Yeah. I'm so glad and happy to see you guys here. I didn't realize how much I missed actually going, doing this, crafting live. I miss you all, right? It's actually a blessing that I am still able to go live with Lynn, right? So I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago just last week, right? Because it's at the end of July where I hosted the August Mystery Craft along, and they had a headache with slight of a headache with my instructions, but I'm so happy that they actually did get it. So, and of course, if you are not yet part of Lynn's LV Handcrafted's awesome Facebook group. Okay, I am actually leading this month's challenge where it's called Friendship Forward, right? To join Lynn's channel, Crafty Fun Friends of LV Handcrafted on Facebook is free, right? And there is a challenge there for you, right? So this, because Friendship Day was July 30th, right? So I am making the month of August, okay, unofficial Crafty Fun Friends Month, right? So in honor of that, we're doing friendship inspired projects, whether it be a card, a tag, okay? So if you do want to join that, please head on to Crafty Fun Friends of LV Handcrafted, right? And there's what do you call that? An album where you can upload. You have your projects. You have the whole of August, okay, to actually submit. Oh, thank you, thank you. I know what I'm doing. Oh, it's okay. Sometimes, Vicky, I still don't know what I'm doing. So high five, my friend. Right? All right. Hello, hello, Jay. It will be fun, Vicky. Yes, I remember Vicky. Shanna's first time going live. She was like, she didn't know if she had audio, if her camera was okay, but it didn't matter. She just went ahead and went live, and sooner than later, she actually got it, right? So now, even if she had, tech issues on going live, she doesn't bother with that anymore. Right? We missed you all. Yes, absolutely. Not doing the driving. No worries. Oh, okay. Whew. All right. That's awesome. I just subscribed, Vicky. Woo-hoo. Thank you, Shanna. And we have Faith. Hi, Faith. This is our dear friend, Faith. I know, being a mom of younger kids is actually hard to find time to watch our crafty friends on YouTube. So I really appreciate when Faith is able to drop by. Good morning. Hashtag 50. All right, there you go. I enjoy watching your channel, Shanna. Absolutely, right? So if you have not checked out Shanna, and of course, check out Vicky's as well and plan. Everybody in this community, okay? My wish is everybody can have a channel, not for anything else. You know how it is when you see some, like on Facebook. I know a lot of people don't like Facebook, but it warms my heart when they like show memories of like my kids from 13 years ago. I said, oh my, they're so cute, right? It's more for memory keeping, right? If for nothing at all, right? So it's not that everybody's what do you call the reason for being a content creator is, for most of us crafters, actually, it is not really for fame or money for a lot of us, right? Okay, but the money that if ever you get and you become monetized helps out in pursuing this awesome fun activity that we have. We're actually leaving for the Faith. Please message me. All right, please message me. We should meet, and it's perfect timing because I'm not so busy anymore because the review has finished, and I actually plan to do more crafting and to revive the face-to-face crafting in my center. Hope to see you, Faith. Please message me. Good morning, Faith, from Vicky. All right. So without further ado, it's 14 minutes just for the intro. Okay. Please bear with me. I've been gone for so long. Right. So anyways, again, this whole month, almost, I just want to revisit the basics. And if there is something that you probably would want to know more about, and if it's a crafting avenue that I might have had dabbled in the past, okay, I will try to feature that as well. Speaking of which, there is a short poll in the chat, okay, in on YouTube. Kindly answer that, my dear friends, and let's check later, right? So I know that a lot of us are paper crafters, but is there anything right now that you might want to start off? Okay, are you into another are you G for coming into another rabbit hole? Right? So please answer the poll in the chat. And maybe before I, or not maybe, but before I end, I will, end and let's check. Okay. And as well as what crafty pursuits do you want to try this year? Right. So again, in line with my question in the poll is this one, right? Because I don't know why, but it's like I love paper crafting, but I also love doing other kinds of crafts, right? So for today, oop, what happened to my, okay, all right. So I have to revive my other camera because it died. Come on, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. It died on me. Oh, see? Look at this, Vicky, right? Okay. So when these kinds of things happen to you, my dear friends, okay, don't panic. It's okay. At the end of the day, it's something that you can always, revive. Just resume. Okay, there you go. And I will click on that. Okay. My setup is not so basic, my friend. So it's okay. If don't be intimidated. I've been doing this for 4 years now. Right? So do not compare your first week with my 4 years, right? So if you feel that, oh, she does so many things, she can do so many things, because I've been doing this for 4 years, my friend. And I've really, enrolled in classes, met so many awesome crafty and tech friends who have helped navigate, okay, where I am right now. And as a pay forward, right? So like this camera, okay, so this camera is actually, it's just a webcam, but it's an AI webcam. So it can, you can tweak it on how you want to follow it, but sometimes it wants to follow me so much that it goes really zoom in, right, into so many other things. All right, so let me see. Jenna! Okay, guys, okay, hold on. Let me just go back to this. I don't know when I will be able to start. I miss you guys. Jenna, yes, Jenna will be on later for you guys in the afternoon, and that's very early morning for me. It's going to be with Lynn for the Crafty Fun Friends on Lynn's channel. I forgot what are you guys going to do later, Jenna? So it would be Jana, Amalia, and Andrea with Lynn, all right, for later. So if you have time, please, okay, watch and craft along with us. Hopefully, I think I'll be able to join, watch, actually, hopefully create something, because my daughter is going to be a volunteer, is going to be volunteering as a guide for those who are going to take the exams tomorrow. So I have to bring her to the university very early. When it comes to dice machine, then I wish I had invested first. Have C6 Bid Shot Plus, but want the Spellbinders. But you know what, Anne-Marie? Truth be told, there will always be something that's going to come up pretty soon, right? So it's like, oh, I think I'm gonna settle with this, and then lo and behold, they'll come up with something new. And as much as we want to not buy anything, it's very tempting. But I feel you, Anne-Marie. We'll be watching daily. It's nice to finally be in the same time zone. Yes, Faith, but you're probably going to be super jet lagged for the first few weeks, right? But please, Faith, I do want to meet up with you in person. Okay, I'm just in the Katipunan area, and I know you know what that is. Yeah, so guys, again, if I'm inviting you over to Lynn's channel, okay, you will see Jana there. So Jana, Andrea, Amalia, and of course, Lynn. There you go. And guys, if you do have something coming up, Shanna, yes, please. Okay, Shanna always has a daily video on top of sometimes live streams every Mondays for me. That's Sundays for you. And then sometimes she also collaborates with Daria. Sweetheart, hello, hello. Thank you so much for dropping by. Okay, hi Jenna. Everybody saying hi to everybody, and I love, love that. Which camera do you have? Okay, Anne Marie, the one I'm using for my top down. Okay, for this one. Okay, this one is called an OBSBot Tiny 2. OBSBot, OBSBOT Tiny 2. And the one that you will see if I do this camera, this one, the one where I'm showing it like this. Okay, this one is another camera. Okay, I'll unplug it first so that you can see how tiny it is. All right, I'll show you how tiny it is. That is how tiny this one is. But it is an awesome camera, and it's just a webcam, but it's super powerful. It can zoom in, zoom out, just like an SLR, camera. And this is an OBSBot Meet. Okay, so would you believe that both of the cameras that I have for my overhead and for this one are actually prizes that I won from just joining challenges? All right, so let's see if it comes back already. All right, so let me just put in. Okay, there you go. It's back. Okay. There you go. It's just too bright. Okay, I have to adjust the lighting. Okay, so you see, so I have different kinds of, what do you call that? View. Right? But again, I've been doing this for 4 years, my friends. Right? So you don't need all of these bells and whistles just to, do content. All right. So, of course, there you go. Okay. So, Sammy Pie has placed, the link for Jana's live stream as well. And Jana actually hosted the July, crafty challenge on Lynn's channel. So that was super fun. Okay, so there you go. I'm so happy to see you this morning. I'm so happy to see you guys here in the chat as well. Right? I've been gone for so long. I was like, do I still know how to go live? The chat is so small when I'm in this view. So normally when I want to pull up the chat, I would do like this one. All right. So again, all right. So let's start. Okay, so today, is day 1, okay? It's actually August 2 already here in the Philippines. Okay, by the way, Faith, safe travels, my friend. Godspeed. Okay, because she's leaving. She's headed for the Philippines. All right, so again, this whole month is going to be very, very basic. I know a lot of you in the chat right now are not so basic anymore, right? But again, I hope that you just enjoy going through something like walking down memory lane for you guys, right? But again, this is, inspired by a lot of my friends. And probably if you are watching this by chance and you probably saw because the word is basic and you want to dabble into different kinds of crafts. So today I'll be talking about several basic things that you need as tools for some of the crafts that I have done here in the channel. All right, so you'll see this is me. Okay, over there, over here is actually my overhead cam. Okay, and this is the PowerPoint. All right, so first, paper crafting. Okay, of all the many crafting avenues, my favorite is paper crafting. I actually started out as a scrapbooker in the mid 90s. Up to maybe about a decade till the mid 20s, and then transitioned into planners and then card making, and still doing. Oh, see, my camera is doing its own thing again. All right, so again, the first thing that people ask me if they want to start in paper crafting, what do I need? Can you move the chat more up? okay, if I am on this one, because this is the thing. Okay, so a lot of people are asking me, Lala, why do you keep on doing vertical? Why don't you do the big one so we can see you, bigger? Okay, so apologies, my friend. This is something that I've been testing out for over a year now. And thus, when I am just alone, I actually do my live streams on a vertical platform. The reason for which is that the platform likes the vertical. I know we don't like it as much, but it can reach more people. So you may want to try doing vertical as well, but somehow it's a struggle for those who are watching those. So can you spell name in chat? Okay, hold on, hold on. I am. Oh, did I miss something? Obsbot. It is Obsbot for the camp. Yes, Obsbot. There you go. All right. So, okay. So, if you're into paper crafting, so meaning card making and scrapbooking primarily, so these are the basics that you may want to, start with. The list is endless. I think that's why a lot of people liked or fell in love with card making more, because with scrapbooking, oh my goodness, this like the supply list can go on and on and on, right? So you need a house. Okay, actually, that's when I saw Melody Lane, bless her heart, bless her soul. She passed away a few years ago, but when I saw her video, her craft house video, it wasn't a room. Her room is just a tiny part of the craft house. I said, I want that. I need that, right? So how awesome would it be if I could have something like that, right? And if you are into scrapbooking, you might end up needing something like that, right? But with card making, the list is a little bit less, right? So, okay. So let's start out with paper trimmers. All right. So with paper trimmers, okay, so there are many kinds. Why is a paper trimmer needed? Okay, so you know what? Maybe let's start with scissors. Scissors was number 2 in the list. All right, was it number 2? I think it was. Yeah, scissors number 2. Let's make it number 1. All right. So scissors. All right. So you can see. Okay, scissors. Do you see this one? This is a glass. I will show it to you. This is gonna be part of the list, but this one is actually a slice. Is one of the earliest. What do you call this? Electronic die cutting machine. And this was the platform where you put it on top and then it's gonna cut, right? The thing is, it's glass. So I'm still using it because sometimes my black glass mat, sometimes it's too much glare, right? So what I do is so it's a mat within a mat, right? Right. Anyway, so going back to the scissors. All right. Oh, audio is going in and out. Oh, Sammy, audio is coming in and out. All right. So hold on. I will reboot my audio. Okay, let me see. Hold. Maybe it's the wires. All right. Hello? 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 Is this better? Hello? 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 Okay, I'll wait for you guys and to see if it's better. Thank you so much, Jenna. How is it now? It's better? All right. See, I turned my iPad off and okay. Thank you. Sometimes you just need to turn off the volume, what do you call that? The audio. Now, if you want like how to set up. If that is something that you would want to see also this month, just tell me. All right. So here we have scissors, right? So we have tiny ones. We have long ones. I am so crazy. I even have that, this one is about 12 inches long. It's like from here to here. But, people are, every time I pull that out, they're so scared. It's not here. It's in my center. It's in my club hub. Right? So these are the scissors. Okay. So, most of them I use for paper, okay, but this one's supposed to be for like fabric, but I use still for paper. Okay, if you can see this one, no, not all scissors are created the same. If you would see this one, let me see if we can have a better view for this one. All right, this one. All right, so it's a little bit what do you call it, thick compared to this one. Can you see the difference? Right? Thick, thin. All right. Let me see. How about if it's this way? Okay. So thinner. All right. There, you can see. It's like this one is double the thickness of this one, right? So this is a cutter bee. It's from EK Success. I don't know if it's still available. And I have several of this, the titanium, the non-stick, and then the regular one. And I love using this scissor for fussy cutting. Fuzzy cutting is a process where you cut alongside the image, whether exactly on the edge or you leave a little bit of a space. And I find that having very, very thin blades and at the same time very pointed tips makes a fuzzy cutting more accurate than when you're using a pair of scissors that is thicker and then not as pointed. Okay, but that is not like that's not a law. Okay, it's not as if you always need to have this to be able to fussy cut. Because, Bitty Penny, one of our awesome crafters in the community, she uses a very regular scissor, something like this, and she fuzzy cuts absolutely fine, right? It's just, again, for me, I find it easier to fuzzy cut when it's pointed and it's thinner. Okay, so scissors, right? So it's up to you. Some scissors have openings that are the usual kinds of scissors, right? So you can only fit 2 fingers and a thumb. 1 to 2 fingers or a thumb. And if you're cutting a lot of things, right? So sometimes it can be, painful after a while. Thus, this kinds of scissors, this is from Tonic Studios, so Tim Holtz, right? So they made it more ergonomic in a sense that you can fit your 4 fingers on one and then, do the other one on this one, okay? And there's even this kind of scissors where, the reverse kind of scissors where normally if you're going to want to cut, you open, right? So you open, close, open, close, open, close. This one, if you want to close, you push it down, you close it, and then it will open on itself. So they say that it's actually easier and nicer for the hands, less stressful for the hands. But truth be told, I struggle with these scissors. Right? I cannot, because when I open it, it's like I miss the line sometimes or the cut. But a lot of people swear by this. They love this so much. That's why I got it. But again, I still prefer this kind. So again, so with the tools, it has to be also something that resonates with the way you work. Right? So, but I'm just showing you some of the options. So those are the scissors. Okay, so let me just go back. All right, you can hear me great now. Thank you, Vicky. All right, love the ones. Yes, I would poke my eyes. Poke my eyes out. Yes, unless you're Bitty Penny. Right? Bitty Penny can really maneuver this like, uh-oh. How in the world is she able to fussy cut with this large scissors? But she can, right? So again, so you should try those new ones of Team Halls. Oh no, I'm not gonna hear that. I didn't read that. Yes, I'm trying not to buy anything anymore, Anne Marie. Okay, remember it's almost the Advent season, so I really want to do the Advent calendar things. You know, the thing is, I'm in the Philippines, and for you guys, it's easier for you guys to get a hold of that. So I have to save up to get those Advent calendars so I can get a hold of them and do them for the last quarter of the year. Okay, next up, let's go back to the list. Okay, so we started with the scissors. Let's go to, okay, a paper trimmer. Again, the reason why, of course, everybody has a pair of scissors somehow in the house, right? So sometimes people use it for both the kitchen and the crafting, but I suggest that you have separate, okay, for hygiene. All right, so paper trimmer. If you are like me, hey camera, don't focus on my tummy. All right, so there are again many brands, okay, many sizes, shapes, colors out there. So if your reason for buying would be color, go ahead. Again, as Team Hall say, you do you, right? But okay, so I have it all, I think. Truth be said, the very first what do you call that, non-sharpening blade or non-changing blades, I think was for making memories, and I still have those. And you can fold it like that as well. So I like and I've had the rotary ones where you can just glide it like that. The ones I use right now are the gelatin ones. Okay, so I have the small ones, the medium size ones, and then I have the big ones, right? And I actually also have different brands. But as a beginner, do you need to have this many? Absolutely not. If you're going to be focusing on card making or even scrapbooking, just but focusing on mini albums, you don't need this. This one can do up to 12 inches, right? So it has something attachment at the back, which you can actually attach like so, and so that you can measure till 12, okay, at 12 and a half, right? But if you are not going to be working with large papers like a 12 by 12 or bigger than that, then you don't need this. On top of being more spendy, more expensive, okay, you might probably not use it as much as this kinds, right? This one I feel is just way too small because we have A2 size cards, we have the 5R, so we have the 5x7 cards. So this might be too small, but sometimes if we want, just to do smaller cuts, I feel I use this better. But this is like my go-to. Okay, that's the in between. So it's like a 6x7. All right, and it's the gelatin type. And this is old. There's a newer one. I know, but I'm closing my eyes. And then there are some that combines not just cutting, but also, so this one is similar. Okay, but this one, okay, instead of a gelatin, it slides. Okay, so this one is a Cricut one. Okay, and then we have from We Are Memory Keepers. Okay, but I think now We Are Makers. What's the new brand? What are they called now? Where it combines, it can be a cutting, okay, a paper trimmer. At the same time, it can be a scoreboard as well. So again, the options are amazing, okay? And then I just want to show you one. It's from PF Crafts. This was given to me as a gift. It arrived actually. I've not played with it too much just yet, but it's purple. And I know Dalis doesn't like purple, but it's so nice, right? It has this guide where you can actually, if you just want 5 by 7, so the paper, can, you you're assured that it's always going to be the same. So it has a stopper that you can actually lock into place if it's B6, A5, B5, B7. So it has that. You can move it around. It's a guillotine type as well. Okay. And it has this kind. Okay, let me see. Let's look at that. It looks like that on the sides. And its arm is like this. It's like a sword, right? Can you hear that? That the sharpness of those blades, right? So that is okay. Another kind of paper, and then you can, put paper clips or what have you on that side. All right. Okay. I'm just putting everything down. Okay. I'm surrounded by so much stuff. All right. So let's go back to our list. Okay. Next on the list is scoring board and bone folder. Okay. So again, there are many brands out there in the market, different colors, different sizes. Okay, so this is called a scoreboard. And what is it for? So for those who are absolutely new to paper crafting and you don't know, so if you could see, if you would look, there are ridges, okay, on the base of this one. Okay, because what you can do is if you have paper, okay, and then you can, and if you want to fold it nicely and crisp, okay, okay. So let's say if you want to score it on 4 inches, so you just, okay, there's the 4. You just glide your bone folder down there, and there you go. Now it creates a score line, right? And that would make folding and making creases crisper, right? And then you just glide your bone. This is called a bone folder. It's not made of bone, probably in the olden days, right? So it comes in various shapes and sizes and colors. All right. So this one is a silicone one. It's actually very expensive compared to this one's come with a tool. Okay. So normally if you have a scoreboard, it will come with a score tool. Just like this one, if you can see, normally they will come in score, with a score, a bone folder already, and some will already have like 1/8, 1/4, 1/2, right? And then some will have what do you call that? Also centimeters. Okay, like the We Are Memory Keepers. So it has the centimeters on the other end and it has the inches on the other end. So again, it depends, okay? But this one, if you're going to be a scrapbooker, not as essential as if you are going to be making cards, right? So for card making, this would make folding and making, especially if you're doing interactive cards, really, really going to be very, very helpful. So again, this is the smaller one. So for the 6, this is the 6 3/4 one. And then you have the bigger one, the 12-inch one. Comes in different colors, manufacturers as well. Okay. So I'm just basically showing you options. You don't need to have all of those things. Remember, by the way, I've been crafting for over 4 decades. Yes, I'm 52. Right? So I really, an avid fan of, crafting, not just paper crafting, but so many others. Okay, let me just go back to the chat. Oh, really, Anne-Marie, now you're making me want to check it out. All right. So Anne said when she was a beginner, she wanted the pink board. I didn't know it was in centimeters, right? So because most of us, we do metric, right? But the thing is, when we do like tutorials and stuff like that, most of the instructions are in inches, right? So not really in the metric system. So it's nice that some have the metric and then some have the inches. Yay, Team Purple, said Vicky. What brand is the purple one? It's a local one. It's called PF Crafts. It's one. They're one of my what do you call this? Sponsors for my show. So they do have a lot of tools, and everything is purple, right? So in the next couple of episodes, you will see more of the products that they have here. There is a pink We Are Memory Keepers board where you score in centimeters. I have it, yes. So if you are into that, then absolutely, right? So like what is this, your cat, Anne Marie? It's so cute. It's purple. I mean, it's pink, pinkish, right? Anyway, so going back, okay, to our basic list. All right, so adhesives. Next is okay, so we have paper trimmer, scissors. I skipped. I went to scoring board and bone folder. I should have gone to adhesives first. All right. When it comes to adhesives, my friends, you can go crazy because there are so many options. These are just of some of the things that I have here. Okay. Of course, the star of the show. So for a lot of us, okay, we use that. And of course, I was supposed to pull it out. My hand cream, it's here. Right? And of course, you have this, right? So when it comes to liquid glue, okay, or spray glue, again, the options are so many. So what you have at home, if you're just going to be doing paper crafting, try using that first. Okay? But if you do want, let's say you're going to do scrapbooking and you want archival safe, so meaning you don't want them to be, you want them to be acid free, because acid in the product eventually, degrades or breaks down your memories, your paper. In fairness, I do live in the tropics. I'm in the Philippines, in Southeast Asia, and humidity here at any point in time is between 75 to 80%. It's very, very humid. And that is, again, one of the enemies of, if you want things to last, right? But having used archival safe materials even in the past, I am so happy to tell you that all my scrapbooks are still intact, right? So again, if you want if you're going to use the product for in the intention that it will last longer. Again, depends on the storage condition and where you are. It may or may not last as long as you want. Okay, but if you keep them really stored very well, then it can last, right? So, but just for paper crafting, any PVA glue, the white glue, is okay. But these are my favorites. So when it comes to liquid glue, okay, these are my favorites, the two. The Art Glitter and the Barely Art. Okay? Used to be the Tombow one, but then it's so hard to find a supplier here in the Philippines. But this one, fairly a lot of people. So I have started using this one. And I know in the US, you guys also, and probably in Europe, this is also available. And the thing is, both of this, somehow, if it's winter, it becomes harder to push out, right? But since I'm in a tropical country, so no worries, 365 days a year. Okay. And even leap year, 365 and 1/4 day. All right. And then we have other glues, like we have this Uhu. Uhu is from Australia, I know. And then you have the Aleene's, stack it over and over, which I actually also use to revive my cutting mats for my Cricut. Okay. And then we have this Taki glue. Okay, so if you don't want the adhesive to be too tacky, again, from Aleen's. Again, there's so many available adhesives over there, and you're good to go if it's okay. Of course, our handy dandy, this kinds of stick glue. Absolutely, you can use for paper crafting as well. And then I do have this one. It's a pixie spray. This one is for light tack, repositionable adhesive for stencils. But sometimes I also use it for other things. But specifically for stencils, and I love this adhesives. This adhesive for stencils. All right. So basically, that is what I have for adhesive. Okay. Oh, your cat is pussy. It is in Norwegian. Ah, okay. So cat is pussy. Okay. I also use art glitter glue. There you go. I know a lot of you guys, okay, use it. Okay. Okay. So let's go back to our list. Okay. Next in the list is craft knife and cutting mat. Okay, so for cutting mat, my friends, let me see. Let's go this way. All right. So for cutting mats, normally you have like something like this. Okay, it's not this one. Okay, like that. All right. So cutting mat, right? So it's made of rubber. So normally another term we use for this is self-healing mat. And if you do have those old kinds of hold on, Sam. Okay, so guys. Okay, I need anak. I need my assistance. Okay, I need a cutter. It's over there. Okay, I'll just do it. Hold on, guys. Because my assistants are sleeping. Sorry. I told you I can't because I need help. Where? Okay, where is my... Okay, I cannot find my pen blades. Is it here? My pen blades. Okay, I can't find. Okay, just pretend that I have it here. Ah, my goodness. Okay. I haven't seen those in a while. Ah, here. Okay, so some use X-Acto knife. This one is called a pen blade. And I love this because number one, it's retractable. Okay, and it comes in different, this is very, what do you call it, pointed. And then there's one that's a little bit rounded. So normally, to use this, all right, so you do need a, like a guide, like a ruler, right? So if you want to cut something, okay, so you just put it there. Okay, let's just use this one. Okay, and then you have a ruler. Okay, and then you measure whatever you want. And then you cut. Like so, right? So there you go. Okay, so that is a craft knife and a cutting mat. Okay, now in lieu of this, okay, so there are now cutting mats that are glass. Okay, so like this one from Team Halts and this one from the Making Memories Slice. So there are many options now. All right, so another, okay, so rulers, of course. All right. So we do need rulers. Okay. So my favorite rulers are this. Okay. I like them like a T-square because it makes, sometimes you know how it is when you have a ruler and it doesn't have that. So sometimes you feel you start off straight and then eventually, especially if you're like cutting like a little bit of a thicker paper or like several sheets of paper, by the time you're here, it must have moved a little bit. But when you have that at the end, it acts like an anchor. So it will really not move as long as you don't move it. Okay, as long as you have a surface that doesn't move as well, and then you can cut perfectly. So I like this kinds of ruler, but this is plastic. All right. So I do have rulers that are, hold on. Okay. Again, where are my assistants? My assistants. Okay. Please don't lie down in bed because you're gonna fall asleep. My daughter is my assistant. She's okay. So another is this one. Okay. I can easily, put in my bag and then, but again, it's plastic. So if you're gonna do a lot of cutting, um, I suggest use the metal one, especially if you're doing art journals, stuff that are your journals, right? So use the metal ones. And then this one though doesn't have like that at the end. So sometimes, again, I don't know why. Why is it that when I start, it's supposed to be straight, but by the time I have, lined or whatever, it's a little bit off. I don't know. Maybe that's I don't know why. That's why I love the ones with like T square. All right. So next up, okay, ruler, corner, rounder, or punchers. Okay. Let me see. Okay. So I have here several. Okay. So this is one. Okay, it's very old. Okay, so what you do is you just put the corner of the paper like so. Okay, and then what happened? It didn't round it. Okay, because it's a very, very, what do you call that? Very, very narrow round. Okay, normally when it's like that, it's better if you have very thick paper. There you go. See? Like that. Okay, but if you, the other side, is that's a 1/8. This is a 3/8. So it's a little bit of a bigger round. Okay, again, it's not as sharp because the paper, you can see. Okay, now this one, okay, it's, you know how it is when you make paper projects, cards or what have you. Most of the time, it's nicer when you see the edges are rounded, right? So having a corner round or something like this, okay? By the way, some of the products that you see here, I'm gonna be having links, right? So yes, those links are absolutely affiliate links. But okay, again, with no extra cost to you guys, it's still the same. But whatever, small commission I get from those links, I also use for the channel. So you see, it can be like that, like this. So there are corner rounders like this, right? So that you can get already 3 different kinds of, style of. Okay, there you go. What is happening to my corner rounder? All right, there you go. Ching, 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 ching. Oh, the scissors are in the way. Like that. You see the corner round there. Okay, and then the others are smaller. Okay, and even smaller. All right, so there. Corner rounder. Again, I added it as a must because it adds up that, what do you call that? Level up, okay, your paper project somehow. Okay, let me just check the chat for a bit. I've been talking and talking. I have 2 glue sticks that are 2-inch wide. Ooh. Okay. Yes, Vicky. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. Hi, Wims. Good evening, my friend. Whimsical Thoughts, my friends, is an awesome artist, crafter based here in the Philippines. So if you haven't checked her out, please do so. And of course, we have Dawn. Hello. Dawn, I was actually watching you and T last night. But then, I was doing something. But I'm definitely watching, and I love what you guys were doing, with the art journaling. And hopefully, I said one of the episodes of this, CEDA is gonna be in honor of art journaling. All right, thank you so much again for dropping by, my dear friends. So next up, okay, is embellishments. When you say embellishments, my friend, it just simple. Again, this is basics, right? So I know most of you are no longer basic, right? But this is more for our friends who are just starting into crafting. So when you say embellishments, these are things that you use to embellish, make it more pretty. So you can add buttons, you can have, trinkets, something like this, right? So whatever it is you feel can enhance, your cards or your scrapbooks, those are embellishments. All right. So that's why I just, made it a general thing. Okay. And then you have stamps and inks. Okay. So once the very first tools that I mentioned are absolute basics. All right. So now if you want to, because just by sometimes just origami or paper tearing or cutting, you can already create an awesome card to start with. Now if you want to level it up, right, so do a little bit of stamping, right? There's so stamps used to be made of red rubber and and then attached to a wooden block, and that was kind of spendy, more expensive, and harder to store, right? So I store them, if you've seen some of my craft room tours, in like spice racks that are like ladder like. Okay, so I can see all of them, but it does use up space. Okay, so but nowadays there's so many amazing designs and then also tools to help stamping better. Okay, so stamps could be something like like this. Okay, there you go. And then inks can come in that, like, for those who are new, again, this is for the supposed to be a basic one. Okay, oops. I'm looking for my inks. I know I put it out. Oh, there. Okay, hold on, guys. It's under the table. Okay, there's so many stuff right now here. So there are many kinds of inks. Don't worry, because we will um do one episode, okay, and that talks about just stamping and just inking. So these are basically just tools. Okay, we talk about the things, right? So, but we're not gonna double into the nitty gritty of each of this. But these are just some of the inks. So, some of them ask me, "Can I use the one that I use for stamp pads? You know how to that you use for thumb marks?" Right? Those kinds of ink. Sure, why not? Right? But then right now, there is a plethora of options for you when it comes to crafty inks. And again, we will talk more about that in the coming days. Of course, you have the dice and die cutting machine. Sam? And do I help? Okay. So, the first time I heard dice, I said, who die? Who died? Or who wants to die? Or who's going to die,
Oh,
right?
you mean that one?
So, yes, please. All right. So dies are basically metal, um, metal
Is it this one?
tools that what you do is it cuts into paper or something different kinds of paper by putting pressure onto it and then running it through a machine. So definitely there has to be a machine. So there are different kinds. All right. So let's start with the other one. Okay. So the advent of die cutting machines. Okay, so I will have a specific episode for this as well, my friends. So the very first die cutting machine I have was the one that has a guillotine, like the CEDA. It's red. So what you do is it has like sandwiches. You put the paper and then you pull down the lever, and you use your own strength and might to actually cut whatever it is you want to cut. And you have dice, right? But then came the advent of something like this. This is a Cuttlebug. Again, this is a discontinued product, right? So basically, the point of this products are, okay, so, okay, hold on. Let me see. Let me just grab. Okay. So the thing is, for any die cutting machine, well, the thing is you normally have a base and cutting plates, right? So it comes in different sizes, shapes, colors, right? But the point is what it does is it cuts things Okay, so that you have different kinds of shapes. Okay, I will be going through a lot of this. Again, I will one episode, and I will show you, okay, no judgment, how many of this I have. I don't know why I love paper trimmers and die cutting machines for whatever reason. All right, now, if you are like me, because these kinds of die cutting machines, to move it, you have to crank the sides, right? So like this one comes with this one, right? So comes with that. So you have to crank it. Okay. So you have to move it like so. Okay, like this. Okay, so it comes with a lever like this, right? But for somebody who is like me, okay, who now has arthritic hands, I can no longer do that. So the entrance of electric die cutting machines, right? So this is different from your Cricut, your Cameo, okay, because this actually, you will still put, okay, the other one, baby, this is the Gemini Go. This is the smallest of the Gemini, but this one, sad to say, it's very slow, and performance wise, I prefer the regular Gemini. Okay, this one first. Okay. Okay, thank you, my babies. So my babies are helping me. Okay, so this is the regular Gemini. This is the junior. Sorry, I have the mother as well. All right. So, and I have several because I thought, that this was, the next best thing to bread. When it got released. So I said, "Oh, I should have several. If what if something?" And then they released so many awesome stuff in the end, right? So the thing is, you just slide in your sandwich again, just like before. So you have several sandwiches, right? So you will just glide it through. You'll just turn it on, and it will glide, right? So you don't need to crank, it's electric. And so if you have issues with your hands already, an electric die cutting machine is something that you might want to check out. Again, I will have an episode where I will show you, and that we will do this side by side. All right, so there you go. And then of course you have the smaller ones even. Okay, for that one. There are even smaller ones that you can actually carry as well. Of course, since they're smaller, okay, it means that they can also do, smaller dice, right? And the sandwich is also smaller and different. Like this is the Spellbinders, okay, Sapphire. Okay, so where are the other? Okay, so these are the sandwiches for the Sapphire. You have the base plate, the cutting plate, and then you have this one for embossing, and then this one as well. Right? So again, different machines, different plates, different sandwich, but they all, okay, this one is the Altenew one, so it's wider but still smaller than the regular die cutting dies or machines. So again, the purpose is for you to be able to cut awesome shapes, right? And letters even. Okay. So when I learned about, just a fun story. The first time I saw a die cutting machine, it was in a store here in the Philippines, in one of the biggest malls here called SM. And then there's this stall called Smiles, short for Saving Memories, Inspirations, and Life Events. So they have this promo for only 50 pesos. Or is it 100? I think it was 50. I think this was in way back 2000. And then you can buy the paper in the store and cut as many as you want. So I started cutting. I bought all these papers and I was cutting. And then someone approached me and said, excuse me, what are you gonna use them for? I actually don't know. It's just that it's cute. It's like the shape of a boy, a girl, a car. You know how those, Sizzix big die cutting templates used to be? That was the one they were using. And just because it was so cute, I started just cutting it because it was only 50 pesos, as much as you can. And these were the kind of die cutting where you have to pull the lever down like that, right? Oh my goodness. It was so funny. Collection of different machines. Yes, yes. So I've gone through, um, a plethora. Okay, a plethora of machines. Okay, so there that's the die cutting machine. Again, we will go through, okay, some of them when we feature each one of this in the next coming days. And of course, we have your handy dandy heat gun. Okay, where is the heat gun, Sam? Here. A heat gun. Okay. So a heat gun or a heat tool or a glue gun. Oh, that's a glue gun nga pala.
Iba pa yung heat gun. Sorry naman.
Oh wait, yeah, because it has a grade.
The heat one is here, ma'am. Okay, hold on.
Oh, I see, I see it. He means this.
So sorry, my
Yes.
dears. All right. So you can have a heat tool. I'm sorry. So my daughter said, "Mommy, no, that's a glue gun." Oh yes, that's a glue gun. It's a heat gun. All right. So a heat gun. Okay, this is a generic one. Okay, this is a heat tool from Team Holtz. All right. So there are very many manufacturers' names. Okay, but the point is this one helps this one helps dry things up a bit, and this one helps with heat embossing. Right? So there you go. So those are the basics for paper crafting. All right. So are there any? Okay, so for most of us in the chat right now, I know that most of you are paper crafters, but there's something else. Next is, how about if you are into jewelry making, right? So for jewelry making, okay, hold on. Okay, why? Oop. Okay, because you cannot see. All right, there you go. So for jewelry making, okay, so here are the basic supplies. Okay, so more, the whole thing. All right. So you need different kinds of pliers. You have the round nose, chain nose, flat nose. Okay. Round nose was doubled. And why is it double? Sorry, guys. Okay, so the round nose and doubled. Wire cutters, beading mat, jump ring openers, jewelry wire, clasp, and findings. Okay, I'll show them to you right now. Okay. So again, this is something that I love doing as well. And I actually have invested in attending, classes because I love making jewelries. Okay. These are the different kinds. All right. So this is a bent nose, but it's flat and it doesn't have a groove. So I love using this to open up jump rings. Okay, so normally I have two of these. I just can't find it. Okay, or if you do have like a regular flat nose. Okay, where's a regular flat nose like this? All right, so you can have one and then open like so. Okay, so flat nose. Okay, and then you have ones that are round. Okay, so like this one. Right, so the round it's like a cone. So you can have different thickness depending on where you will put your wires. So I do have different kinds of round pliers. And then this one, if you can see this, like a silicone at the what do you call this, with silicone. This is what I use to straighten out wires. Let's say if you have a wire like this, right? So I use this kinds, okay, to actually just straighten it like so. Right? So it helps straighten out your wires for jewelry making. Now, if you don't have that, no worries, because you can easily get a piece of rug and then just use that as well, right? So again, but if you have them, why not use them, right? Of course. And of course, you have your cutters, wire cutters. Okay. And of course, you have your different mandrels. Okay, mandrels are basically like your templates for when you're making round things or rings or necklaces, different kinds of shapes. Like if you want to do a rectangular one. So these are plastics, and then you can also have like metals. Okay, this one is actually, the most expensive. Just kidding. It's a barbecue stick, right? So we can even use this to come up with, create jump rings if you want to, right? And then of course different findings, all right? So when you say findings, of course these are the things that attach and make to when you make like jewelries like this ones. These are what do you call this, charms. I love those that have words like this one says trust, brave, believe, right? And then we have a ballerina. So I have like so many, and then this one's like recently bought this one snowflakes, and this one's like a vine. Okay, so all this, of course, you need to have your wires. Okay, so that's what you basically need for jewelry. Yes, actually, I also want to do a little bit of leather. Dawn, I'm doubling in, I'm thinking. But the thing is, I have very weak hands. So I am not sure if I can do leather crafting and combine it with jewelry making. But that's something I'm, seriously considering. Really. All right. Yes, I know Dawn loves jewelry making. And I hope that we can collab again soon, my friend. All right. So there you go. So those are just the basics. So small, what do you call this? You have, so for jewelry making, the basics are really more pliers than anything else. All right. And then just finding. So it's actually easier to start with jewelry making. Not too many things you need to start with. All right. So I wonder what you haven't tried. Oh, a lot. There's a lot. Believe me, Wims. If I would hop onto all of those rabbit holes, oh my goodness. But the thing is, I still have to work, right? So I cannot. All right, next up. Okay, after jewelry making. Okay, what if? Okay, so what are the basics if you want to go into decodent? This has been here for a very long time, but I actually started with decodent just this year, right? So Sam and B-Boy, next up, please, decodent.
Oh, this one.
But first, get this one, sweetheart. This one
Yes,
first.
Sammy.
Okay, so I have my two children, okay, helping me out because there's just so many supplies. I cannot like put them beside me. All right, so give me all the stuff. Okay, so this is an example of a decodent project that we did earlier this year. If you can see, this is actually some of I made like a trinket container for Sammy Pie, because she likes, most of the products I make, she actually wears them, right? So this, if you can see. Okay, so, oops, camera. All right, so that is what decodent is, right? So another project is this, right? So I just decorated another, thing for Sam. Okay, I just decorated that. Okay, so what do you need to create? Sometimes phone covers. But the phone cover I did was a mess. Right? But at any rate, so this is what you need to start out with decodent. Okay, so with decodent, you do need to start out with silicone piping bags. All right? Or plastic bags, so to speak. All right? And then whipped clay. All right? So whipped clay. So this is the kind of clay that is a little bit softer, not like the kind of clay. See, look at the consistency of this, right? So it's like a whip. That's why it's called a whipped clay, because it's like a whipping, whipped cream. Okay, it's not the kind of clay that's very hard, right? So it's really for decadent, right? So there. Sometimes you can buy them in bags like this already. So half is white, half is green. And then when you pipe it, it will go out as two colors, right? So, and then it comes with, okay, some you just buy this one in bags and then you just, cut the tip and then you just need a piping bag and a piping tip like so, right? So these are basically the basic things that you need. Of course, you have the piping glue and your whipped clay. All right. And then, okay, Shanna, I know you have a lot of things to do. Jana. Jana is another crafter I know of who is into, okay, that's one thing I can't do, 3D printing. And Jana can do that. Right? There's so many things she actually can do. She draws, she colors. That is the one thing that I need to ask Jana and Tracy of Not Afraid of Color. I think there are two crafters I know of who basically can do everything. Hats off to them. How I wish I can be the same. Whimsical Thoughts in the chat, by the way, can do us. She doesn't, when she started, she was actually a painter. She is not into crafting. So when she started joining our craft alongs, she didn't have embellishment. She didn't have pattern paper. She didn't have those. So she didn't have it. So she created them. She drew pattern papers. She drew ephemeras, right? So she's super awesome, right? Okay, going back to Decodent. All right, so for Decodent, okay, so of course you have the silicone piping, bags, whipped clay, palette knife, all right, because sometimes you want to mix it, all right, tweezers, cabochons, and clear glue, sealer, base objects, and gloves. Okay, so I'll show you this one. All right. So again, this is the fun part, okay? Thinking of things you want to put in them. Okay, so you can put something like that. Okay, this. So the things that sometimes you may use for your shaker materials for your, for your cards can actually be used for cabochons or for your jewelry making. So they can mix and match, right? So, and then you have, those very, very cute, like the cabochons. Right, there you go. So this was, I believe, started in Japan. And then the trend got picked up all over the world. Okay, and then, of course, you need to have this tweezers or tongs. These are plastic. Okay, and then, again, you can decorate pins, calculators, bags, basically anything and everything under the sun. So that's why I fell in love with this. It's such a perfect, personalized gift. Okay, and so easy to create. So again, that is Decodent. Okay. The next, project, that we're going to be doing is, talking about basics, art journaling. Truth be said, you can use anything for art journaling. If you want to have more ideas, be inspired, okay? One of the things that you can do is to head on to Tracy, Not Afraid of Color, okay? And Dawn, who is in the chat, okay? Who is the Crafty Visage. Okay, so they do have a collaboration. If you are here in the Philippines or in Southeast Asia, it's every Friday nights for us and Thursday mornings for those who are in the US. Right? So they do a collaboration live stream almost every week. And they do the different techniques and styles and what have yous when it comes to art journaling. Right? But if you do want to dabble into this, what are the very basics that, things that you need to do? Okay. So again, with mixed media, you can use anything. right? Okay, but there are things that you actually need, like gesso, okay, and then acrylic paints. Okay, just are just some examples of what you need. All right, so paints, and then of course you need some different kinds of brushes. Okay, and then you can also use some of your stamps. Okay, and then of course you can use stencils. Okay, stencils of different kinds. Okay, just like this. We will be having specific days where we will go through all of these things this month, right? So we're just talking today about all the materials, the starting tools, right? All right. And we have my dear friend Dinky. Hello, Shirley. This is Doc Shirley in the house. Yes, check out Dawn's channel for some art journaling. There you go. That's her YouTube channel, my friends. Oh, Friday morning. Sorry. It's Friday morning and Friday evening for us. There you go. Thank you, Dawn, for that correction. Yes, there you go. Oh, Timmy's picture is so cute in there. All right, so there you go. And then you can have like collage ephemera. When you say collage ephemera, okay, if you want to know more about that, again, highly suggest you check out, Dawn's channel and T's channel for that. But basically, what it is just, a collage of different things, right? So if you have like scratch paper, where is it? Let's say for example this one. So you have like so the things that normally you would throw away, or you thought maybe I can use this because it's acid free. I don't want to throw it. Like the edge of the the 12 by 12 papers, or the covers of magazines, right? So all of those things you can use for your art journals, okay? And of course you can always use washi tape. Okay, where is it? Okay, hold on, guys. I'm trying to look for the washi tape. Where is it, Sam? Did you guys remove it? It was here kanina.
Oh, it's over there.
Okay, where? Okay, can you give? Okay, my son removed it because it was out of. Okay, it was in the way. So washi tapes, for those who are new to crafting and do not know what is a washi tape. Okay, so a washi tape is something like this. So it's a tape that's just tacky. Okay, so you can put it on top of paper normally, and it will, it will not tear your paper if you remove it, right? It can stick temporarily or not too much, and then you can remove it. So that's what a washi tape is. And the fun thing about washi tapes, my friend, is it comes in various various designs and sizes. You have thick ones, you have thin ones, you have very, very thin ones, right? So that's washi tape. And this is something that you can always use for your art journals, okay? And then, of course, markers of different kinds to create marks, okay? All right, so now the next crafty avenue that you may want to do. So we've done paper crafting, we've done decodin, we've done jewelry making, the basics. How about, okay, if we go to amigurumi? Right. So for those who don't know what amigurumi is basically crocheted images, 3D images, right? So I have fallen in love with this craft the past couple of years. So I already have several episodes in my channel where I did amigurumi, and the things that you will need, okay, for amigurumi. Maybe you've seen this, people creating like a dog, a cat, a whale. My whale, they said, looked like a frog. A tadpole, right? So what are the things that you need? Of course, you will be needing crochet hooks, right? So depending on what you're gonna make, okay, so they will tell you what size of the hook you need to use. Okay, another thing, you need yarns, okay, and yarn needle. Okay, and yarns come in different materials. So this is an acrylic yarn. It's the cheapest and it's the easiest to handle. So if you are an absolute beginner, okay, this is what you need because it's very cheap. Even for us here in the Philippines, it's super cheap, and it comes in, like this one even comes in, what do you call this, changing colors. Oh gosh, brain fog. What do you call that? Like ombre. There you go, ombre looking, yarns, and it's easy to work with and cheap. And then you have, okay, this is my favorite. Okay, the cotton. Okay, so the cotton ones, and then you have the very, very thick ones. Okay, that's more expensive, but for our utter beginners, I suggest that you start with this, the acrylic yarns, and the cotton yarns like this. Okay, and then of course, you also need some stitch markers. All right. So remember when you crochet, so you start with, a certain layer, and then sometimes or oftentimes, because you're going to make 3D projects, right? So normally you would start with a circle and then you will build it up, right? But then sometimes, of course, the instruction will say, okay, on the on the fifth row, on the sixth row, on the seventh row. And then since it builds up, sometimes you get confused. Oh, what row am I now? So this stitch markers would help you. Okay, because it will tell you, okay, for example, let's say this one's unfinished. Okay, so maybe this row I started, for example, maybe I started here. All right, so when I start there, I will put this. Okay, I will just put this one here. So it's shaped like a, what do you call, a safety pin, but it's plastic. Okay, right? So it's there. So I know, and then I will go around and crochet, and then when I hit there, I know that that's the start of the next line or the next row, right? So these are very, very cheap but super useful. Okay, prior to using this, I used to like start again. I forgot what row I was in, right? So there you go. And it comes in different types, right? So there's this kind where you just, where you just glide it through like so. Okay, just like that. Okay, another is you have to have some fiber fill. All right, so an example of a fiber fill, okay, is this one. This one. So the thing though with fiber fill, it's very, very light and it can fly, so it can go into your nostrils. So normally when I start filling, I wear a mask just so I will not be able to accidentally inhale. Okay, and then once you put it inside the fiber field, the nice thing about fiber field is no matter how big it is, you can eventually, um, shape it into whatever, shape you want it to become. So normally when I buy fiber field, I buy it in like big, big sacks like that, because you can, just stuff in whatever it is you have as a project. All right, and then you also need some safety eyes. All right, because of course normally you would want to make very, very cute products, right? So sometimes the eyes, okay, can be, just a regular black eyes like those, or it can have something like this, or it can even be googly eyes, right? So normally it looks like there's a thread, all right, and then there's normally a knot that goes into that, right, so that it's safely secure, right, especially if it's going to be used by like smaller kids, right? And then you have, of course, scissors, row counters. I don't have the row counter though. Okay, so it's like a digital thing that you just press after you're done, and then press again, press again. So in my case, it's like really manual. I write down. And then, of course, measuring tape, which I don't have here right now. All right. So that is so far. Okay. How are you guys doing in the chat? Again, don't forget to answer the poll, my friends. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Yes. Hello, my dear friend. Yes. Okay. She's my partner in crime recently. Okay. Our sons are best friends. So there you go. Jason, kamusta anak? Ang ganda naman. Naka-crystal boat ang avatar mo, Jason. Love it. Kamusta ka na anak? Oh yes, I think I've gotten better from the very first time I tried it. It's called the variegated. There you go. That ombre. Yes, that's the term. Variegated yarn. Thank you, Dawn. Finally learning to crochet. Oh, go, Jason. And then tag me, anak, ha, once you're done. Oh, Wims is still here. I think I want to try the Decodent this year. Oh, absolutely, Wims. You can go crazy with it because it's not as expensive, right? It's a fun craft. Okay. I think Mira cannot do it just yet. Okay, but there will come a time, Mira can absolutely join you with Decodent. All right. So again, okay, my question for you guys, what crafty pursuits do you want to try this year other than what you are actually doing right now? For most of us, it's paper crafting. Is there any other that you would want to try out this year? All right. So moving on. Okay, the next one, okay, basic is if you guys want to go into Bible journaling, right? So Wims actually does this as well. So she has several of her Bible journaling pages on her channel. If you want to find some inspiration, you can check that out as well. And speaking of Bible journaling, on August 10, all right, August 10, my August 10, and that's gonna be August, is it 10 also? Yes, August 10 morning for Jay. Okay, I will be in Jay, okay's channel, okay, crafting with Jay, where we will be doing Bible journaling together. Right? So with Bible journaling or faith journaling, because some they don't want to do the journaling in their Bibles, right? So okay, anak, can we here. Okay. So here, hold on. Okay. So Bible journaling. So if you are new to Bible journaling or faith journaling, so this is what it looks like. So I do this once a month in my channel, except that for the past couple of months, I've been a wall from my own channel. So I rarely, I think I've gone live here and there, but not really very consistent. So I am for my faith or Bible journaling, I use this interleave Bible. So this Bible is called interleave because in between two leaves or two pages is a blank page, and in the blank page you can like create like an art journal if you want, color, watercolor it, paint, put papers, do an art journal, whatever it is that somehow resonates with the specific verse that you are going through for that day, right? So these are just some of the examples or of the different pages in my my art journal. So again, I will be with Jay this August 10, right? So if you want to join us, okay, that would be awesome. So if you can see, what can you use or what do you need to actually create some or something similar? All right, so let's go back. Okay, so what do you need? Okay, so of course you need a journaling Bible, or if you don't want to start with a Bible, you can start with a journal. Okay, you can start with, something like a notebook, right? So something like this, right? And from the notebook, you can, decorate, put stickers, stuff like that, right? So you start out with a notebook. If you don't want to start with your Bible, look for a notebook or a place or journal where you can put your faith journal. Okay, and then you can use pigment pens, highlighters, like this, right? So you can have highlighters like this, okay, and then you can have of course washi tape, which I showed you a while ago, acrylic blocks, okay, because if you want to do stamping, okay, so what are acrylic blocks? So I have some acrylic blocks here. Sam, can you get me some acrylic blocks?
Got it. I'll do it.
Where is that?
Thank you. Okay, because maybe some, okay, beginner. No, no, baby. Over there. It says stamping blocks. There you go. Okay, can you get, okay, it's a little bit heavy. Okay, so acrylic blocks are like this. Okay, so let's just show them. Okay. Okay, they're basically acrylic, made of acrylic. Okay, and the thing with this one is it's just an acrylic, and normally you have like grids so that you know where you can put your stamp. Okay, and because the thing with, let's say, your Bible or your journals, okay, it's hard to put them in a stamping block. I mean, in a stamping platform. Okay, I'll show you later that one when we go into stamping. I think 2 weeks from now or next week. Okay, and then you can. Okay, so it will hold the stamp. Okay, and normally for journaling, it's best to use a stamping block rather than a stamping platform. But for card making, a stamping platform is better. All right. Okay, and then what else? Okay, you also need some gelatos. Okay, gelatos are actually not edible. All right, these are not the gelatin. All right, so gelatos are actually a product of. Hold on, where is it? I think it's there, baby. Okay, under the thank you. There you go. There. Yes, these are water soluble pigments. Okay, just like the Tim Holtz. Gosh, I forgot the name of Tim Holtz. I have that as well. Forgot. Okay. Maybe you can remember, my friend. So it looks like something like this, right? So just glide it onto your paper and then you rub. Okay, we're going to do a basic on this one soon. So these are the gelatos. All right. So water soluble pigments. Okay, so again, basically, if you want to do mixed media on your faith journals, that's also possible, right? So the nice thing about using paints and inks and wax for your art for your faith journaling is that it doesn't make your pages bulky, right? So there you go. Okay, let me see. Let's just go on to, all right, this one. And of course, date stamps. You know, the date stamps that you can buy anywhere, like in, what do you call this? Books, supply stores, office supply stores, right? So if you, because you always want to put like the dates, stuff like that. And stencils, of course, right? So like what I did here, if you can see. All right, so these are stencils. Okay, so I used the stencil and then ink the stencil to come up with that one, and that also that one. So stencil is something that I use super often in my journaling. See, these are all stencils. To create all these images that you see here, I used stencils for that. Very, very affordable. Okay, and yet, you know, it's super pretty. Okay, so there you go. And Dawn says love gelato, similar to the distress. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Dawn. I was like thinking, what do you call, yes, the distress crayons, right? So the distress crayons. The only thing though is that with the distress crayons, once they dry up, then that's it. But with the gelatos, you can always move them. And we have here Amy Yulin. Hi, Amy of Creativity Playground, right? So if you have not checked Amy yet, Amy is the awesome creator behind and crafter behind Creativity Playground on Instagram and on Facebook and, of course, on YouTube. If you haven't checked her out yet, okay, please do so. Hi, Amy. All right, good morning, my friend. And finally, okay, not finally, because I think we have several still. Okay, another thing that I love doing. Whoops, what happened? Whoop, what happened? Sam, my ano is gone. Okay, you gotta help me. Everything is gone. What did I do? It's gone. Okay, there you go. All right. So one thing that I love doing is I upcycling and recycling. right? So for this kinds of projects, what you need are hot glue gun. Okay, so remember the one I showed you? I said the heat gun. Okay, this now is really the glue gun. Okay, so because for DIY projects, normally you want them to really stick hard because they're you're recycling, upcycling them, right? So you normally mix fabrics or corrugated boxes and stuff. So you need a little bit more sturdier adhesive. So hot glue is a must. Okay, and then of course ruler, because from like normally like a big box you want to measure them into smaller pieces, so you absolutely need ruler and sandpaper to if you want a distressed look or if you want to soften the edges like so. Okay, there you go. And mod podge I normally use to seal my projects, but some people don't like mod podge because it's kind of sticky, so they use a gel medium instead. So again, it's up to you, but there are some sealers. There are really sealers, spray sealers that you can buy. And then, of course, the recyclables, like whether you want to upcycle or recycle. Okay, will it be, soda cans, soda bottles, boxes, glasses, jars. The list is endless, right? And then, of course, a hole punch is going to be very, very useful, right? As you try to, let's say, probably create something like something that you can carry with them. So you do want to put holes. So one thing you can use are what do you call this? Hold on, I will show you this ones. Okay, I forgot what you call this. Okay, so I forgot what you call this, my friends. What do you call this? Brain fog, right? So of course there's a drill. Okay, and then it can create like boreholes, right? So like the cabinets that you see at the back that I DIY. So those metal findings I actually attached using, by boring holes using this one. Even if they're like wood, can use that. Or if it's paper, you can use something like this. Okay. So this is the We Are Memory Keepers crocodile. Okay, there you go. Wow. And Amy likes making her own stencils, right? So if you do not know how, maybe, Amy, do you have like tutorials on how to create your own stencils? Right? So there you go. Actually, I did, because we're all talking about very basic stuff right now, right? So everything is basic here. Now, there was a master class that Lynn did several months ago, and I was part of that. So it is more like 5 ways to use your crafty product more than you normally use them. And my class for that was actually for dyes. And one of the ways that I actually use dyes, okay, other than the usual, cutting into shapes, was to create my own stencil, right? So that's a masterclass that's actually still available, okay, on Lynn's channel, LV Handcrafted. Or if you want to check out also maybe Amy, okay, has a tutorial on that on her Instagram or YouTube. Do you have, Amy, or on in the FB group? All right. Isn't the distress crayon water soluble po? Yes, pero once natuyo na siya, once it dries up, okay, you cannot move it anymore. Okay, but if you wet it and the surface is okay, pwede pa rin siyang, it can still move. Okay, but the gelato will always move. That's why there's a pro and cons, all right? So the thing about that distress crayon, because you know how it is when there's a new release, I actually bought the whole collection, and so I should use that more, right? Okay. So maybe, hopefully, one of these days, Wims can actually go and visit us in the center, Wims, and let's, work with those distress crayons. Hand drill. There you go. Hand drill, Dawn. Thank you. I have never seen that tool. Okay, the crocodile. Yes. So this is a Fiskars. This is a Fiskars one, Amy. I think this is the earlier version and this is the newer version. So like the, what do you call that, IKEA box, right? That you can personalize. Okay, you can use this. You can use this for corrugated boxes or for wood and stuff. So I like this one. But of course, for paper, the crocodile. All right, so there you go. And then, of course, you have the craft wire, okay, and decorative paper or fabric for your upcycling. But that one is more of what you have. All right. Okay, I'll try more the distress crayons. I have some, but not the complete collection. All right, so there. I think I do have. I think, but it's for members only now. I think it was 3 years ago that I did a comprehensive. But I think you are a member of the channel, right, Wims? So you can do check that out. I did a deep dive onto distress crayons versus gelatos versus uh no, what do you call that? The what is that? Oh my gosh, my brain. The neo colors. The neo colors too. There you go. Those three. Okay, so I had fun doing that. Okay. All right. So do check out Wims as well, my dear friends. She is also, loves doing mga DIY upcycling as well. All right. So yes. All right. So let me see. I think I made the chat go really, really up. All right. So now let's go to, okay, mixed media. This is not something that I'm good at because, my brain somehow it thrives in, what do you call this? Process, right? So it start with this and then go to this. But with mixed media, it's like there's no rule. Just and mostly I feel that mixed media is really more for artists, right? But I'm trying and I keep on trying, and just like my camera who keeps on trying to focus on, I don't know what it's trying to focus on, right? So just like what we use for art journaling, that's the thing that you can actually use for mixed media. So if you if you buy a gesso, or if you have acrylic paints, ink spray, stencil stamps, these things that we already showed earlier on, that can also be your starting point for your mixed media already. And eventually, all of these things you can now apply as well to your card making or paper crafting. So somehow the logic or the reasoning why you can actually say it's okay to get this and buy this, because I eventually also can use it for other crafts, which is true. In fairness, it's true. As long as you actually use them. I hope that you use them and not be like me, where prior to becoming a content creator, I just used to be a hoarder. Hoarder big time. Just because it's on sale, just because it's cute, just because it's like, everybody's liking it, but never really using it. That's another positive thing about, becoming a crafty content creator, that I have been able to use almost all. Not used up, but at least used up almost all. All right. So, B-boy, can I have water, sweetheart? I think I've been talking too much. I said, oh, guys, I'm just going to go live maybe an hour. And I've been here almost 2 hours. You know how it is, right? And anyway, I miss you guys. I've been gone for a long time. And of course, stamping. All right. So there are many different kinds of stamps now. When I started, it was only red rubber. I'm not sure prior to the red rubber what kind of stamps they used. But when I started with stamping, it was the red rubber. And then it became the polymer ones, like the ones that we actually use right now. There you go. Yeah, Sammy said, my best friend loves using glue gun. Okay. And so for stamping, ink pads, stamp clean. Oh, hold on. B-boy. Okay. I don't know where to put my water because I might accidentally. Here you go, baby. Spill it. Okay. So I just want to remove them so I can have my table clear. Hold on, guys. I'll just put them back. So that's the nice thing about, having a designated place for everything. Okay, cleanup is fast. The only issue I have when I'm crafting though is I don't know why I only have this area, but when I'm crafting, it's like, where did I put my scissors? Where did I put my paper? Where did I put my die? Oh my goodness. The list goes on and on somehow, right? So okay, so for stamping, basically you've seen the others. So I've seen the acrylic blocks, okay, the stamps, ink pads. Okay, so here I will introduce something that's kind of okay. So again, this is for those who are for the benefit of those who are new to stamping. Okay, so on top of the inks and the stamps, okay, one thing that is very useful for stamping is what I'm going to be showing you right now. Prior to the advent of these tools, I really didn't like stamping because I rarely get a crisp image. Most of the time, it's like, okay, half of the image is okay, but the top part is blotchy, but it's a combination of so many other things, and that we will show and we will learn together, okay, in one of the episodes here on in August in CEDA. But this craft tool is called a stamping platform. Okay, so there are different kinds. Okay, but the very first to introduce this is my sweet petunia. Okay, and it's called the Misty. Okay, my most incredible stamping tool invented. Okay, that's what it means, right? So basically, what it does is that with this tool, it's so easy to stamp. Okay, because if you make a mistake, you can easily stamp again. Yeah, I'm intentionally not showing you yet because we're gonna be doing this in a separate episode. But simply what it means is that if you have, let's say, that one, that's your stamp. Okay, let's say you put ink already on it and then you stamp it, and then you don't see a perfect image. Okay, you can, since it's in the same location, right? So you can just stamp it again and then stamp it back in, right? So it doesn't matter if you don't get crisp results in the beginning because you can always go back and back with it. So normally the concept is that you have a door, okay, and then you have the platform where you can put back or stamp back the image again in the exact place, right? So this is a smaller version. So sometimes or oftentimes I want to do multi stamping because I'm lazy, right? So since I was working on a project, so I put all the stamps I want and then ink it all at the same time, and then I will stamp. Right, so that's one way. And then another kind of stamping platform again is this one. Okay, this is a stamp wheel from Altenew. Okay, one thing I like about this is the others, they use like a magnet to hold your paper in place. This one uses the mat is sticky, although now there are sticky mats as well that you can use, like this one. Okay, so there's a waffle flower sticky mat on this one already. Normally it was just like that, right? So And then you have this wheel where you can actually put the stamp like so. Okay, and then put your paper there, and then just make sure that you push this one to the edge like so, so that every time you stamp, because if you do it like this, sometimes it moves a little bit, right, with this one, because there's no specific door, right? So you can actually move this. Okay, so what you do is you make sure that and if you can see, I put a dot. Okay, what do you call this, a gem. Okay, just to know that that is the top. Okay, and then do like that. Okay, again, we will do like we will focus on a specific episode for this. Again, purely the basics. Okay, basic. That is the concept of this full month, right? So I'm showcasing you the different basic tools for different crafty things that I've actually done in this show. So if you want to check out the other projects that I've done in the past with this different kinds of um, crafty avenues, you can. There is a playlist in the description. I mean, in the channel. Okay, and then you have adult coloring. I'm not good at coloring. Wims knows that. Okay, but as I said, I won't stop. Okay, it's just a matter of just like what I've been saying earlier on in terms of if you want to do content as a crafty content creator. You know what I do? There's I have several cameras. I can do this and that. This is not something that I am able to do instantly. I learned through the years. And thus, I am always reminded, especially by Wims, who inspired me actually to not stop trying coloring and drawing. Um, it takes, a lot of practice. But since it's not something that I like because I'm not good at it, I don't spend much time doing it. But every time I have CEDA, Craft Every Day in August, April, and I have Vlogmas, I force myself to work on it. Right? So for adult coloring, of course, this was a thing way back in the early 2000s, I think, right? So you have alcohol markers, like you have your Olo or your Copic or your Ohuhu, right? So, check out the Whimsical Thoughts channel for a ton of amazing inspiration when it comes to coloring, right? Amazing. And of course, you can have watercolor brushes, blender pens. Okay, let me see if I can pull this thing out. Okay. So if you can see at the back, okay, that one, this one. Let me see. Can I? All right, that's bigger. All right. So you see at the back are acrylic containers, and they are full of different kinds of pens, right? So these are, and arrange them like so. These are my Copic markers. So there is several layers here at the block with acrylic containers. And then I do have some Ohuhu markers. Okay, they're all alcohol markers. The nice thing about alcohol markers is that they blend well, and it makes like the images come to life. All right. And then, of course, you can also use, like color pencils. Like this ones are mostly Prisma, but there are also some Derwent. All right. So those are the things that you can see at the back. And I also have here some Tombow markers, which you can actually also use for coloring. Right. So again, anything that you have, okay, a marker, pencil, what have you, can be used to, color. Okay, and then you have, of course, you need to have smooth cardstock. Okay, I find that the smoother your paper is when it comes to coloring, the better. But then again, there are also paper that are smooth but somehow does not absorb the ink and therefore it turns out to be very blood. There's my tummy blotchy. What are you doing, camera? Right? Because my hand's doing like that, right? And of course, you have swatch charts. Okay, one thing that I learned from artists like Wims, especially when they work with watercolors. By the way, watercolors is that before they start, they swatch it first. So before I said, why? And then I realized, because if you're just gonna look at the, what do you call that, the pans, or the watercolor pans or the tubes, it may not exactly be the exact color when you put it on paper. That's why they swatch it first, right? And then you have, of course, if you're gonna use pencils, a sharpener would be very, very useful, right? All right. And then another crafty avenue that we are going to be working with, and of course the basic with of which is, of course, you need to have like a graphite pencil. Okay, I will try. Actually, having had like several episodes where I did content with Stan. Okay, Stan Brown of The Real Stanex, who's an awesome cartoonist and artist, who taught me how to use, what do you call this? The Apple Pen and the Procreate, right? So it's easier. If I make a mistake, I can just go back, right? And I can put layers and layers. But with actual paper and, this one, it's harder. Plus the fact that I don't really draw. But I feel that because I forced myself into doing drawing, okay, inspired by, you guys and my friends who know how to draw, I've gotten better, right? So again, since it's CEDA, I will try to do this. And if you want to join me, these are some of the basics. You need to have a graphite pencil. Okay, graphite pencils, like very, what do you call this? Okay, very vibrant. No, what do you call that? I don't know what to call it. It's easily seen, right? And easily it can be erased as well. Okay, easily. So of course you need to have an eraser. It's up to you if you want the knead eraser or just the regular eraser. Blending stumps. Okay, blending stumps. Do I have it here? Okay. Hold on. Where are they? I think I don't have it here. Okay, but it's actually like a piece of paper that has been, rolled like that. And then with a very, very fine tip. Okay, and normally you use it and then to blend. And sometimes you use an organic solvent like a Gamsol. But later I've realized, because, Wims have, told me and shared with me that, you know, when you use that kind, somehow it of course it blends nicer, better, but it also removes the identity, so to speak, of how the lines and the space. It's also part and parcel of your creativity, and so when you use those kinds, somehow it gets lost. So I've been trying not to use it as much when I use pencil. There you go. Yeah, webs. I know, right? But again, the thing is with mixed media, I feel I need like a specific, tell me. But it it beats, or it defeats the purpose, right? I know it just takes a matter of getting used to. Okay, I have NR2. Oh, I don't know what NR2. Oh, it's cheaper than the Copic one. Hi, Cordelia. Oh, my friend. I miss you, my friend. Hi, Cordelia. I finally got an iPad with Procreate. Woohoo! Go, Amy. I'm going to go back and watch those episodes again. Amy, just go to Stan's channel. But it's nice to go back and, visit how I created a dragon that doesn't look like a dragon. And then there was one that, several that I've created. But I think, I gotten better. Oh, the stamp wheel too. Awesome. Isn't that bigger, Anne Marit? The stamp wheel too. Oh yes, Uhu is cheaper than Copic. True, I've heard and I've been hearing a lot of good things about Uhu, right? Even, those who got you are so used to using Copic are now, absolutely embracing Uhu. And Wims is actually one of those artists in the Philippines who create amazing things with Uhu. Right? So she is actually one of the reasons why I tried out Uhu in the first place. Right? All right. So yes, absolutely way cheaper than Copics. I liked how he taught us during those episodes. Absolutely, Amy. And maybe I will have him back this, maybe the last, what do you call it, last week of CEDA. All right. So there you go. I've never used charcoal, but they say that for drawing, that's one thing that you should have. Although I have it. I have the charcoal pencil, but I've never actually used it, right? So hopefully one of our dear artist friends, okay, who knows, we can may have whims if she's not very busy this Sila. We can invite her over for the drawing part of this SIDA. All right. And okay, I think we did adult coloring. And finally, last but not the least, is calligraphy and brush lettering. Okay. This one I was inspired to start by my dear daughter. Okay. Samantha or Sammy Pai in the chat was actually the one who started me off with calligraphy and lettering in the early 2000s. And so being, an enabler mom, so I got her all these markers and what have yous, right? So guys, I need the tools, please. The next one.
Calligraphy tools.
Yes.
Uh,
So if you there the white one. So if you want to join or to start with calligraphy and brush lettering, all right. So there's the regular. I mean the original calligraphy, the okay the fine nib. Okay, so this one. All right. So you can start. It says there brush pens. So if you do the brush lettering, so this pens. Okay. So I'll show you. Hold on. These are brush pens. So let's do the nib calligraphy last. Okay. So we have also this. I'll show you different kinds. And then we have this. Then we have this. See, I told you everything is just at the back of me. Okay. So all these markers that I'm going to be showing you are actually markers that you can use for brush lettering. So you can use the Kokoiro. Okay. So the thing with brush pens, they will have like differences in like how hard the brush pens are. So the harder the brush pens, the easier it is for beginners. Because it's easier to have the thinner lines and the thicker lines, right? And control it. Okay. But when you have brush, Sam, maybe that's hugs. When you have brushes that are, what do you call this? Brushes that are I don't have paper. Brushes that are, what do you call this? Oh, this is a harder brush, right? So it's easier than and then up. Okay. But when you have like this ones, okay, the brushes are a little bit, okay, I actually this one's hard as well. Okay, where's a brush pen that is okay, let me see. I'm looking for okay, again, this is the Faber Castell. Okay, so you have different kinds. You have Faber Castell, you have Tombow, you have Koi, you have Kuretake. Okay, so these are just some of the ones that I have, and of course the Kokoiro. And these are for brush pen calligraphy or lettering. Okay, so you don't need to have them all, okay, but you can start just with one. And only I can find a piece of paper. Normally, a crafter doesn't have piece of paper. Hello. Hold on, my friends. Okay. Uh, where are my card stocks? Okay. Okay, so let's just use this one. Like for example, this one, right? What color is this? Okay. So let's say hello, right? So with brush pen, right? So, oh, I haven't done this for quite a while. Okay, see? Ugly. Okay. Okay, hello. Right? So that's everything you need. Okay. Now there is, and sometimes you can bounce it, right? So you can bounce, like you can start with the H over there, right? And then the E will be there on top. Okay, and then your L will be here, and then your other L will be there, and then see, it can go up and down like that, right? But then the other kind is what we call your nib pen calligraphy, right? So this, for that kind, you need to have like a nib holder. Okay, so your nib holders can be something like as simple as this, or it can be an oblique. So if you want, for basic, if you are starting, I love this one because it automatically makes my handwriting have a little bit of a slant. Okay, not really, because with this one you have to be the one to intentionally make it into a slant, right? But with the nib, all you need to do, with the oblique, okay, pen holder, you can just put in the nib like so over there. All right, so you need to have a nib holder. Is it there? All right, so smooth paper, calligraphy pens, practice sheets, ruler, water brush if you want water brush, light box, pen holder. This is the one. Okay, okay, so, and then of course your nibs. Okay, so your nibs are something like this. All right, there's so many possible nibs. All right, so different nibs, different sizes, different purposes. So basically, you can't use the nib just like hold by holding it. No, you need to use the nib with a pen holder, right? So with the oblique, either you put it like so, okay, like so, and you hold it like that, and then you're gonna use it, okay, and then you dip it into an ink. Okay, so of course you need ink. Okay, there are many different kinds of inks. Oh, this was my glass nib, right? Super nice, right? But super hard to use. So you also have different kinds of inks, and of course you have your nib holders. Okay, so the one that you put your nibs on, okay, so that they don't, mess up your workspace or your work. Okay, so again, those are just the very basics of some of the crafts that you may want to start out this year. All right, so let me just go and check out. Okay, B-Boy, can you give me a phone? All right. So I love Amy's avatar. Okay. Oh, yes. So the largest stamp for Altini, you must have two pieces of sticky mat. Awesome. I haven't. Oh, I need to see that. And Marita, do you creating content on that one? Okay, hold on. Okay, I need to check your answers, my friends, for our poll for today. Okay, I will end it. Okay, and see what it is that your answer was. Okay, okay, let me see. Okay, it is not showing. Okay, let me see. Let me end the poll. Where's the poll? Where's the poll? Did I end the poll? Okay. Okay. And Paul. All right. So I ended the poll, my friends. And okay, are you going to try a new crafty hobby this year? You guys said 64% is a yes. Awesome. And 34% said no. I'm super excited. No judgment. I just really want to know if there's somebody out there like me who just wants to try out, another crafty avenue this year. So I wish you luck on that crafty adventure. And if it's something that we showed you tonight as a basic tool, if you want to try out any of those that I've shown you as a basic tool that you need, okay, you can actually check out my channel to show or to see some inspiration that you might get. Okay, I'm not an expert in any of these. Just a disclaimer, my friends. I'm just a hobbyist. I like doing it. Okay, and I love, doing crafty stuff. All right, so I just share my journey, so to speak. Okay, so Wim said my new crafty hobby now is collage art. So I can use all my coloring materials. Awesome. Right? So that's a great way, right? To actually think of an art or a crafty hobby where you can incorporate everything that you need. Thus, you don't end up hoarding. That's an awesome suggestion, Wims. Okay, and Wim said calligraphy is something that she's interested but never really had a chance to dive into, maybe because it doesn't like me. How about me? Drawing doesn't like me, Wim. But we should try, right? We should. Right, there you go. All right, so that's it for now, my dear friends. Okay, again, I go live again tomorrow, and tomorrow it will be paper, everything about paper, the basics of paper. Again, this whole series of my craft everyday in August is to revisit the basics. So we'll go through the basics of everything. So tomorrow is going to be paper. There will be a day where we're going to go through dyes. We're going to go through stamps. We're going to go through die cutting machines, die cuts, trimmers, deep dive into the basics of all of these things that we somehow, showcase today, right? So we showed you the most common tools. Now we're going to show you the different kinds of techniques and then the basics of which, right? Because sometimes I think that's one of the things that somehow when I watch videos and I see other creators or other crafters, artists come up with these amazing projects, like, whoa, I want to be able to do that. But if I try doing it, it's not as easy, because the fact is, okay, we have to start first with the basics, right? And once we get the basics down pat, then that's the time we can, embrace it and make it our own. And I think that's how, the artists, the crafters that we look up to actually learned how to showcase, and the projects that they show us came about, right? I don't believe that they got into this immediately as, experts and as awesome as they are right now, right? So we always have to start with the basics, and that is our intent this whole season. And if you want to join me for that, please don't forget to hit that like button and hit that notification bell so you do get notified when I do go live, right? I'll also be posting more videos, of course, of KCC 19 and some not too shabby mood board challenge as inspiration for you guys, right? And on top of that, so many other things, because I actually have been away for almost 3 months, right? So I have so many things to catch up for in terms of crafty projects. But for the CEDA, it's always going to be the basics this month. All right. So Amy said I was on FB, so didn't get to do the poll. But my new hobbies this year are learning how to draw kawaii style so I can make stickers. Awesome, Amy. Oh, Oh goodness. Okay, Amy. I'm in Amy's group, right? So if you have not checked it out, Amy does have a Facebook group. It's Creativity Playground. You just need to answer some basic questions and you can be part of the group. And that is where Amy shares everything that's happening in terms of her creative journey, of course, on Instagram as well. So when she does start doing this SVG files and stickers, can't wait, can't excited, very, very excited to have some of those stickers of yours, Amy, soon. All right. Thanks again, Wims. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Anne Marit. I shared a link to you on Messenger. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Anne. You're still here, my friend. It's almost evening for you, right? Thank you, Mommy Lala. Yes, thank you so much, Wims, as well. Oh, Don is still here, right? Actually, you guys, one of our dear friends, before I end, by the way, Lynn is going to be coming up with another awesome release in September. And of course, Meg. Okay. So, congratulations, by the way, to Meg and Lynn. Their new products have been sold out. And of course, thank you to you all who bought and supported our dear friends. And as our other friends come up with new products of their own, like Amy with her SVGs and stamps, and Wims, I hope Wims comes up with her own line of, stickers or whatever of her own original paintings and drawings. I hope that you would also support that, right? So let's support the creative journey of our dear friends in the community wherever they are in the world, right? So, yes, I'm looking forward to all of these releases. Of course, we love seeing products coming from big companies and stuff like that, but having someone who we know come up with their own product is such, I'm tickled pink, right? So I'm super excited because I actually have a happy mail today. It just came in the mail. And part of that mail, of course, is the stuff for the Not Too Shabby Mood Board Challenge and the newest release from Lynn, which is the Snow Globe Dice, right? Since I'm with Pear Blossom Press, light up mechanism. So I'm super excited. Of course, I'm going to come up with a video for that, right? So there you go. Thank you so, so much again, guys. For later, if you have time, okay, it's going to be Lynn's Crafty Fun Friends with LV Handcrafted later with Jana, who was here earlier. Jana, Andrea, and Amalia, of course, with Lynn. Hopefully, I'll be in the chat as well. Thank you, Cordelia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my friends, that you have not forgotten that I'm still alive and I'll still be crafting. All right. So with that, thank you so, so much and see you tomorrow. Bye. No countdown today because I forgot to put my music. All right. Bye.